You can start, Shaima.
Yes, thank you. Hello, everyone. We are delighted to see you again and to welcome you to new talk. Our meetup for today is about getting to know the epidemiologist, their handbook, the R code reference manual written by epidemiologist for epidemiologists. So this talk will be hosted by Paulina Jedynak, biostatistics and bioinformatics postdoctoral research. Welcome, Paulina. I will start by introducing RLadies Paris. We are a local chapter of the global open source community, RLadies Global. RLadies Paris was founded on 2016, and our goals are to provide a supportive and encouraging network for our users and to promote learning and collaboration in the R community. So RLadies Paris serves as the R community, a vibrant community for practitioners based in France. And you can follow us on our social network if you hadn't already. We are very active on Meetup, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Mastodon. So feel free to scan these QR codes. I'd like now to talk about the RLadies organizing team. I'm Shaima Bourhanmi, a data scientist and business modeler at BVA company, and also an organizer at RLadies Paris, with Mona Belid, the president of RLadies Paris. Mona is a data consultant for our data, and she's also our Ladies Global team member. So I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce our next meetups. On 24th of April at 7 p.m. Central East summertime, Guillaume Dissagi, head of biometrics at Pure Fabre, will be joining us online for a new meetup entitled Embracing Open Source Software to Implement Precision Medicine. And this will be also a face-to-face event on 29th of April at 7 p.m. also at the DataCraft offices in Paris on the theme of creating packages in R and practical development of statistical learning models with the Tidyverse. And our speakers are Maria Paula Caldas, a data scientist, and Julie Aubert, an in-array research engineer. So check the chat, Mona will share the links.
Yeah, so before moving on, I would like also to introduce today's invited speaker. So Paulina, as Shaima mentioned, is a biostatistics and bioinformatics postdoctoral researcher at the Barcelona Institute of Global Health, IS Global. She also works for the Grenoble Alpes University. She also teaches courses like offered by the Applied Epi on Introduction to R for Applied Epidemiology and Statistics and Regulation with R, programming language R. And she's also a former organizer of the R in Grenoble group. Last thing before we start, as I mentioned, we plan to the session is recorded now. So if you prefer not to be recorded, please don't hesitate to turn off your video. If you have any comments, please leave them in the chat box. And before leaving the talk later, we will have a form that will pop up once leaving the Zoom meeting. So please don't hesitate to fill in the form and share with us your feedback. Last thing to tell you about is that RLadies Paris is dedicated to providing a respectful community for everyone. So we have COC, please, let's just keep this place a welcoming and friendly community for everyone. Thank you all for your attention, and the screen is yours, Paulina.
Thank you very much. I will try to share my screen now. Okay, so you should be seeing now my screen with the full mode presentation. Can you just confirm?
Yes, thanks.
Okay, great. So thank you very much, RLadies, for inviting me here and for this nice introduction that you gave about my profile. Thank you very much. So yes, again, my name is Paulina, and today I will present to you the Epidemiologist R Handbook, which actually is a very nice resource and compendium to start coding with R or advance your skills on R if you are already an advanced user. And actually, I decided to present you this material because personally, I'm relatively new to R, as actually I hold a PhD in molecular biology and neuroscience. And for several years, I had been doing fundamental research in a wet lab. But at some point, I decided to change my career path and focus on data analysis. And so for that, I did a master's in biostatistics and bioinformatics at the University of Barcelona. And during that period, I actually had to learn to code in R from scratch. So Epi R Handbook was something that was really helping me on the way, not only to learn coding, but also to learn about basic and more advanced epidemiology contexts and topics. And actually, the R Handbook is also great because it's an open source compendium that covers dozens of topics that every epidemiologist wanting to work with R or already working with R may need to know. And finally, the Epi R Handbook was written by independent and grassroots collective of epidemiologists based all over the world, and some of which actually are forming Applied Epi organization, about which I will tell you a bit more at the end of my presentation. And I am also an instructor, as already the girls said, in Applied Epi. I teach R and statistics. And let's go and see something about the R Handbook. So I will just note here that the slides were provided by Neil Batra, the Applied Epi director and president. The Epidemiologist R Handbook that you can find under this link here is, as I already said, a huge compendium and free resource to learn code, R code in public health context and in epidemiology. Actually, it's an effort of several volunteers who spent thousands of hours to create this resource. As you can see, it has been viewed already 2.7 million times by 750,000 users all over the world, which translates to around 4,000 daily views. It consists of 50 chapters of best practice code examples and tutorials. And what's important, it's available online and also offline. So for us, it's maybe not that important here in Europe, but you may also imagine someone working with low access to internet or even no internet on a daily basis. And then being able to download this resource is really great, because then you can really start working with R from scratch, even without constant access to internet. The Epi R Handbook was translated to 11 languages so far, and probably counting. So it's also available for non-English audiences. And in the green boxes, I just pasted a few very positive reviews that the Epi R Handbook is constantly getting. So it's not only my opinion, but also other people agree that it's really a great resource to learn R and basic concepts of public health and epidemiology. So going already into the book. So as I said, it has 50 chapters on different aspects of R coding, but also epidemiology. And since it's a task-oriented book, it starts with R basics and also a chapter on transition to R for those people who have not ever used the software, so they can basically learn to use it from scratch. And the idea behind was that, again, if someone works offline, cannot really access internet on a daily basis, can download this resource in HTML format and start working with R on her or his private computer. So there are several introductory chapters on packages or projects, obviously importing and exporting, which is kind of very basic. But then we also cover, I would say, one of the most important parts of data analysis for each epidemiologist or public health practitioner, which is data cleaning and management. And here I wanted also to tell you a bit more, like, because I don't know your backgrounds, but you may not know, or you may not be aware of the fact that we can distinguish like two types of epidemiology setup, let's say. So one is academic epidemiology, it's a setting that actually I come from, where data that we work on is already pre-cleaned and almost ready to work with, because it's because our data collection protocols and procedures are harmonized and very often strictly controlled. And moreover, we also, as scientists, we are supported by data managers who are responsible for data curation. But this may not be the case, and it's very often not the case for epidemiologists who, for example, work in the field, right? So imagine someone working in outbreak control under time pressure, in very stressful conditions, and so on. And then in such a setup, of course, the data that is collected is, let's say, not clean. It has to be heavily pre-processed because before further analysis, for example, or visualization. So EPR Handbook offers several really great solutions to speed up and facilitate the process of data cleaning. For example, by automatic variable names cleaning, dates pre-processing, working with text data, and so on. And here I would like to also mention that in EPR Handbook, it emphasizes the use of the functions from the tidyverse family of R packages, which also means that processing data will go to the long format direction and not the wide format. And actually, so this is why also we cover these chapters on data pivoting, the duplication, grouping, and summarizing of the data. So all this is adapted to the long format of the data and tidyverse universe, let's say. Another part of the EPR Handbook is also super important. Let's say this is the core of the epidemiologist work, which is actually data summarization, statistics, and visualization. So EPR Handbook covers these basic statistical modeling methods, like, for example, statistical tests or linear regressions, but also tools that are specific for epidemiology and public health, which can be, for example, time series, outbreak detection, epidemic modeling, which, for example, is estimation of the effective reproduction number and related statistics, such as doubling time and short-term projections of future incidents. These terms may be familiar with you because we heard a lot about this during the COVID pandemics. There are also chapters on contact tracing, survey analysis, survival analysis, and also essentials for the geographic information system data analysis. Also, another important part of epidemiologist work is, as you may know, creating tables and figures. So also there is, in the EPR Handbook, there is a chapter on publication-ready tables, which is really great because this is always something that creates a lot of trouble, at least for me, to really make a table in R that would be ready to publish. So here in one of the figures, you have this table that was actually formatted in R. And you can, basically it works better with HTML outcomes, but also you can produce such tables for example, Microsoft Word documents. So the tables, obviously, different kind of plots that in EPR Handbook are based on the ggplot2 package. With these tools, you can create epidemic curves, age pyramids, transmission chains, heat plots, for example, phylogenetic trees, very different types of data visualization and summarization, which actually some examples you can hear in this figure. We have also chapter on interactive plots using Plotly and Shiny packages. So it's really like a very broad compendium from like presenting the whole pipeline from actually importing the data through cleaning, through summarizing, through visualization. And the final part of the EPR handbook also covers reports. I'm not sure how is it for you, but actually in my work, like for example, dynamic reporting or dashboards are not that essential, because basically me, after I finalize a project on data analysis, I normally write an article on that, and I don't really need to update it very often. But if you imagine, again, an epidemiologist who works in a field and, for example, needs to provide one report per day for, let's say, each province of the country or something like this, then really dynamic reporting is essential and helps to save a lot of time, and also remove the errors that may occur when you enter the data manually. And also the huge advantage of dynamic reporting and, for example, using R Markdown is that you can create different formats of the needed data. So at the end of the day, you may have a PDF, PowerPoint, or other types of formats that are also that can be later presented in different formats, not only R. So the very last part of the EPR handbook covers these tools that help to automatize and make the research reproducible. So maybe, for example, writing functions, management of relative paths, essentials of the version control, and so on. So as you see, there is plenty of resources that are available in the EPR handbook, and I will be happy to answer any questions if you have any about the handbook. But also I would like to give you just a very brief introduction about Applied Epi, the organization that I also am part of, because all the Applied Epi, except for the EPR handbook, they also provide several different open source resources that can be useful for epidemiologists or public health professionals. So basically, the concept of the Applied Epi emerged as a response to the notion that, in general, epidemiologists are under-equipped. And most of us around the world, we use or we used in the past substandard or very expensive tools to analyze the data. And actually, there was a big need for free and advanced statistical software like R, but there was a lack of relevant training and support. So this is also especially relevant for the epidemiologists in low-income countries, for which adoption of R advances and advanced equity in global health practice. So basically here, I just wanted to give you one example of a Haitian epidemiologist who decided to move from Microsoft Excel to R, and this is his testimony that before adopting R in his analysis, he was using 30 hours of tedious manual and error-prone work, while after learning the basics of R and transforming his data analysis to more agile and robust method, the same work took him only 30 minutes. So this is really shows how this tool can really help field workers, epidemiologists who are working in a very difficult condition sometimes, also to produce more reproducible results and analysis. Excuse me. So Applied Epi is a grassroots movement providing R expertise by epidemiologists for epidemiologists. As I already told you, the EPR handbook was a collective effort of several epidemiologists, some of which became a part of the Applied Epi, which now is an independent and grassroots-driven movement that is not affiliated with any university or other major NGO. Today, it's around 170 people collaborating with Applied Epi all over the world. And this is on this pyramid. I also show you some resources, some tools that can be useful if you would like to learn using R or learn or gain some more advanced skills in R or learn about the epidemiology concept. So basically, in the base of this pyramid, there is the introductory self-paced tutorials that can be found under this link. And this is a material that is based also on the EPR handbook, but also there are lectures, there are videos that are recorded from the lectures, there are exercises to be followed, and a lot of materials that helps people to learn R from scratch, basically. The second part of the pyramid is the epidemiologist handbook that I already told you about, plus the packages that Applied Epi developed. So there are several of them. For example, CITREP, which provides our Markdown report templates for the epidemiological setups, Epidict for data dictionaries that are used by epidemiological for epidemiological data analysis templates, EpiKit, which is a big package for R functions for field epidemiologists, and so on and so on. So all these resources are also provided by Applied Epi. Finally, we also provide a forum, a community forum, which is similar to, let's say, Stack Overflow, for example, but it's Applied Epidemiology community where people can ask questions which are connected with R code, but also epidemiological methods, modeling, and many different topics that are connected to epidemiology, public health, and also R. Finally, this is also a part that actually is a big chunk of Applied Epi's activity. So these are introductory and advanced courses in R, and those are paid, but it's important to say that Applied Epi offers scholarships for people who cannot don't have enough resources to pay for their attendance. So within these courses, there were already 1,500 people trained around from 350 agencies all over the world. And also, this is a very successful tool so far to spread the knowledge of R and R skills among the public health and epidemiology professionals. So finally, I just wanted to show you some of my colleagues who actually are instructors for R and Stats like me. And this is really a very nice group of people who are super friendly and provide the highest quality trainings to health professionals. Actually, we are also hiring, so if anyone is interested to become an R instructor in epidemiology context, please contact us, and you can check the job offers that are on the website of the Applied Epi. And this is the final slide where I wanted to thank my colleagues, especially Neil Batra, the president of Applied Epi, who helped me to make this presentation for you today, the Applied Epi team, and my colleague from the University of Grenoble-Alpes, Matthew Roland, who was also giving his ideas on this presentation, and for my institutions where I work with, University of Grenoble-Alpes and IS Global in Barcelona. So thank you for your attention. If you have any questions or there is something that I could provide some information on, please don't hesitate to contact me or just ask me these questions now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Paulina.
Thank you, Paulina.
Yeah, this was very informative. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate either to unmute your microphone or to leave them in the chat. So maybe I will ask one question.
Mhm.
Like, are there any plans to expand the content of this handbook in the future, like including new, like maybe include topics about Quarto, like the progress that you see in the R community?
Yes, actually, so it's a living document. So obviously, because of its size, it's not updated like daily, right? Obviously, but obviously, anyway, the updates are necessary also because the R syntax is changing and new tools are being introduced. So there are indeed there are updates of this handbook, and they are basically community based. So people just give their opinions, and they ask for some topics to be covered. So yes, answering your question, yes. However, I'm not sure when the next update will be provided. I guess soon, because there were many major changes in the new R versions. So probably some of the code becomes already outdated. So yes, totally. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Okay. So please don't hesitate to leave your question in the chat. I think that was very clear.
And all the links, I believe, will be this presentation. I'm not sure if it will be only available as a video or as well as a document, because there were several links in this presentation. So maybe I could make them easier to copy somehow. If we could post this presentation somewhere. Up to you.
Okay. Okay, so I think it's fine. Yeah, you can end up here the meeting. Thank you all for your attention. So I will share with you the link to get access to our upcoming meetups. So you have one on April 24 that will be online, and another one in Paris. So we would love to meeting you in person. So don't hesitate to join us on April 29. I've just shared the link in the chat. I will also share the recording video on our YouTube channel later. Thank you all for attention, and see you next time. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Have a
Thank
nice
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.
Thanks a lot.
Bye. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Chiba. See you. Yeah, see you in Paris, okay?